up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hey, it's
Banger.
Friday. It's the day before the weekend, and we skipped last week because we're awesome and we stay on schedule very well, and none of us have anything going on but this podcast. And we just decided, screw it, we'll just skip the week.
Every now and then life takes over, and it's okay. It's okay for life to take over. So thanks for coming back, and we're happy.
We're happy. We hope that you're happy and that waiting an extra week was worth it, because today we have Simo on the podcast with us here.
Woo!
And as you guys have been saying, you really enjoy it. We're going to talk some music again. So before we get into that, we all kind of, have been doing these music episodes where we all just pick something and then talk about songs that we like. We're going to do some rants today. We all have some rants from our past weekend and things that have been happening. Yeah, life's good. The sun is out. It's Friday. We're going into a busy gig weekend. I've had a week free from baseball because of the All-Star break, so that's been nice. What about you guys? What's been up?
Where is the All-Star break this year?
The All-Star game was just in Texas.
Not to date myself, but 10 years ago, I was DJ and I did 3 of the All-Star ones in a row, and they would do the All-Star parties, and they were always a lot of fun. It's a good little week to get away from and, go see some new cities. I don't know that I can afford to actually go. How much our tickets are crazy.
Well, it was here in 2015, and I was a season ticket holder. And that's 10 years ago now, though. I want to say they were like around 150, something around that, but it's probably closer to like 2 or 250 now. I don't know. If somebody knows, I'd be curious what they paid. But
well, Dodger tickets are like 100 something. I would imagine them being. I would think it was more like $1,000, but maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, it probably ends up being wherever the city is. If it's a bigger city, it's probably
Right.
You're going to have to get, especially if you're getting them on the old StubHub or something like that.
But people still fly out all over the country for them. So
it's just interesting to me, like the influx of people. Like Cincy, when it was here in Cincy, they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy!" And, like, all the bars booked DJs like every night of the week for it, and it really wasn't that crazy.
I played, I think, 3 gigs a day for most days of the week for like 2 weeks for what ended up being probably not necessary.
Yeah,
But there were still nights that it was great. But like as far as the whole week went, it was.
it seems like other companies, like big company, like MLB, maybe it's MLB, like the bars don't really do anything because these other companies come in and throw these like huge parties that are like bring in massive acts. Like I remember that year it was like Macklemore and Snoop Dogg and Drew Pierce.
No, it was so funny when they were like booking me for these things. I was literally a nobody. I just got brought on because I happened to be the in-house guy at the first spot, and the lady just loved me, and I was the only one that was able to keep people, so they just kept bringing me. But eventually, what happened is they went to a bigger city. It was in New York, and they wanted to bring in just a big giant DJ. So it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense of what you guys are saying is whatever city it's in. And also I agree with you, Fuse, is because I did do a production for when the NBA All-Star game was in here. We did a full buyout with Stance and EA Sports. So
right.
I mean that they're all going to these like exclusive parties all the companies are throwing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cool, but like it doesn't really bring revenue to like the bars when like somebody's throwing these massive parties elsewhere in like an abandoned building. Like one was on the West End here, and like Simon, wasn't it like an old, like it wasn't even. I know at Energy, Danny
I
rented out
can't
Energy
remember
for
where it
something
was,
too.
but yeah, I know the one you're talking about, and no one would shut up about being invited to that party for weeks. And
Right,
yeah,
right.
So you were invited?
I was DJing somewhere
We
else
were all
that night.
DJing. Yeah, we were all DJing somewhere else.
Not that I would have been invited anyway, but
I was just teasing.
let's be real.
You said
But
you wouldn't shut up about it. I was just teasing.
I DJ'd one of the it wasn't like it was a home run derby after party, and like Sean Casey was there with Chris Berman, and it was wild. That ended up going till about 4 a.m. because it wasn't open to the public, and they had all the the window shades down. But that was a wild one.
Yeah.
Well,
I went to the home run derby that year, and that Todd Frazier, who played for
Yeah,
the Reds, won the home run derby that year. And I would say that's probably the closest feeling to winning a championship that I've experienced here in Cincinnati.
for sure, for sure.
well, I'll tell you what. If you're from Texas and you DJ'd out there, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, let's shout out these sponsors we got.
Oh yeah, it's sponsor time. So if you use promo code Drew and Fuse Show, it'll get you 30% off your first month of activation at directmusicservice.com. Also, we have a promo code DAFS, and that promo code, I can never remember this one. I'm pretty good at remembering stuff, but I don't always remember what this one gets you.
Click the link.
Yeah, it's a promo code DAFS. It's for crate hackers. It'll get you 50% off your first 3 months or 30% off an annual plan. Once again, promo code DAFS, DAFS, get you 50% off first 3 months or 30% off an annual. And not only that, Drew and I do a Crate Hackers Hackathon at the end of the month. It's basically a live music episode. We talk about music. We talk about what's been working for us, all that good stuff. So they're free. You can join us. You can chat with us in the comments if you'd like.
This week is going to be a pool party vibes.
Oh, yes. Pool party. That's the one. And if you think we suck, you can come in the chat and tell us that too. That's fine. And maybe we can talk some shit back and I'll enjoy it for a little bit.
They are a lot of fun, though. You come out with a great crate. And if you don't have crate hackers, you can always go on there. If you missed the hackathon, you can go on there and grab that crate. So there you go. Do that.
That's true. Let's kick these off with a rant. I'm feeling
Spicy?
I feel like it just there's some stuff that's got to be said, and let's do it. We're gonna play this video. We're gonna get back to it.
Hey, Drew and Fuse. Peter Griffin calling in. I want to hear what really grinds DJ's gears. You know, besides from Bad Bunny requests from a phone or DJs stealing custom mashups of YMCA and Macarena and using it on their own TikToks. Hey, this week's guest, what grinds your gears?
It's asking this week's guest, so
Okay,
you have to go
all
first.
right. So I'll kick it off. Oh, I was DJing at one of my usual spots over at Beeline in Newport, Kentucky. One of those places that always fills up by 11:30 or so, and I usually work into the night between 10 to 10:30 into 11. And occasionally there's groups of people who show up and they're ready to rage right in front of the booth. And on this particular night, on Friday, this girl comes up at 10:15 and requests John Summit. And I was like, I mean, he's got enough songs out. I can get to that. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I played it, and within 5 minutes she comes up and she's like, hey, play some Chief Keef. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's not even in the same universe as John Summit, and it's 10:15. Like, just calm down, like go grab a drink. We'll get there. And then one of her friends, like right behind my laptop, I couldn't really see him until I peeked around, was like flipping me off. And I was like, I just played your previous request 5 minutes ago. And now you guys are jumping down my throat because the next one, which isn't even close, is what you want me to do. And mind you, on the other side of the dance floor, there's a dance floor divider and then the bar. The bar side and the patio is full of people. So, and I'm playing music for the whole bar that's actually, I'm like, I'm not just here for you 6 people, and that's completely inappropriate. And I just to get flipped off over that at 10:15, I'm like, wow, thanks for putting me in a great mood kicking off this evening.
So
That's
you
really going
know,
to pay dividends for you guys.
I always thought like when people like are really offensive to me right after they ask for something nice, I'm like, oh, now let me do it for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I overthought that one. Let me do that for you. Let me hook you up now.
Danny taught me this, and it's really hard to do because you don't want to do it when people are like that to you. But I always just go, "Are you okay? Is something bad happened to you today?" I'm just asking. You seem like really upset about something, so I just want to make sure you're okay.
I like to tell people like, you'll be all right.
Uh,
Just look them right in the face like they're my 3-year-old. Like, you'll be all right.
just never. My rule of thumb is never play anything next. It's a 30-minute wait for that request, regardless.
My other favorite thing to do with people like that is to after you say no because they deserve to be told no because they're just acting in like yeah, I like to like wait 10 minutes and then play it anyway and watch them go through this roller coaster of emotion. Like, wait, what? You hated like we were ready to leave. And it's just that part's kind of fun too. Especially if it's not a terrible request. They just went about it the wrong way. And you're like, no.
Right? People
I
just suck.
they they don't even mean to do it. They're basically comments in a chat. That's all they are in real life. They're just comments in a chat in real life. And
for sure.
That's the problem is they don't realize they're in real life and you're a real person. So
I agree. I'll
That's
skip
my
into
rant.
my rant for the day, and then we'll go to Drew. My rant, I've been on the Threads app lately, and I've kind of been talking some shit on there. Just like out of like, sometimes I don't even mean to talk shit, and then I just like post something because I'm just thinking of it, and then next thing you know, like people are commenting. It's like Twitter in 2008, which is interesting because people actually pay attention on there right now. But I posted and I deleted it because I wanted to be able to talk about it on here too. But I posted, stop making edits with vocals over the drops. Okay, so this is my rant. DJ, stop doing this. Now, if you're doing this as like an original production, that's one thing. Or a song that has like a drop, but the drop's got like breathing room on it and a vocal sounds okay. But when a drop has a lead, like a lead synth that is the lead, and then you're like forcing Katy Perry over top of it, and it just sounds like one giant crunched thing, just stop forcing that. And oh God, I hear so many things come through on SoundCloud and DMS submissions, and even like DJs that I think are good DJs, like supporting bad mashups. It's like music is tough right now, but you don't need to be out there playing like whack shit just because. So that's my rant.
the thing is that drop is actually the quote unquote chorus for EDM. Right.
Right.
So you're it's like singing two choruses on top of each other.
Yeah. And when you actually mix those tracks together, you don't leave any room frequency wise for anything else. So when you're throwing in this huge lead vocal, it just muddies everything up. It's probably clipping or it just doesn't sound good.
Right.
Any advice for young producers on how to do it correctly?
I think like the chorus, and there's always like the occasional exception, like, and somebody's going to be like, oh, there's Fuse, you made this and there's vocals over that. And it's like, yeah, from maybe 12 years ago. Okay. Like, but nobody like stuff evolves and production evolves and people get better. And I get that there's young people that are just getting started, but my advice would be like, try to work the chorus into like the build part of the song. So the drop is still like what carries the song. And, if it sounds forced, it probably is. So just don't force something. There's ways to get creative with making it. Simo, any advice?
I'll just add to that. If it's an instrumental that you're putting this vocal over, if it's a 16 bar drop, probably cut it to 8, at least for the first drop. And if you're going to go into the second drop and you want to mix out during that second 8 bars of the drop, that would be my move. Because sometimes if you're, playing a pop song and everybody's singing along and they're liking singing along, and then you play 30 seconds of a drop, that you kind of lose them by the end of that 30 seconds. And I would just shorten it. That would
I
be
agree.
one more piece of advice I would give.
Yeah, it's a good piece of advice.
Yeah. And like they said, there's always exceptions, but yes, for the most part, if it's just too crunched, stop doing it.
Mhm.
My rant is going to be, I've recently, I do a lot of weddings. This year has been a slower wedding year for me. Last month I did quite a bit of weddings, so certain months are heavier than others. My big rant is going to be, and this doesn't even apply to all of the DJs, but maybe someone could comment on how I could solve this. Is wedding coordinators sending out 20 or 30 emails leading up to the event with one change, and I'm like, I don't even know what happened. I don't see anything that changed, but then they're upset that I'm not responding like within 2 seconds, but I don't even know what I'm responding to, really. I just can't fucking handle it. It's like very stressful thinking that I'm missing out on something. They're just emailing to email. And so please help me out. I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to fix it. I want to be more on top of my emails and not piss these coordinators off. It's just so out of hand especially if you're doing 2 or 3 weddings in a weekend or even in a month. It's like hundreds of emails for for these weddings that, let's be honest, all you're doing is telling me like a song change. Like, just put it in my form that I have. Like, why are we having this conversation at all? So that's my rant. Is like, I just fucking can't stand the emails. So help me out. I don't know what to do. I'm drowning in emails.
It's crazy. If only you had a solution for that was coming. But
I was going to say, can I say anything right now?
but maybe one day.
one day there might be a solution. But even then, I'm telling you, I have other options for that. Can do this kind of thing, but people still want that
They don't use
interaction
it.
with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
So also the coordinator, doesn't always have the access. It's just emails. People love emails. I hate emails. So maybe that's part of the problem.
One more social media thing that I wanted to bring up that we were going to discuss last time, which I think we should discuss with all of us on here. It'll be interesting. Drew and I are part of all these different Facebook groups, and it's so exhausting to keep up with stuff, let alone like all these different groups and just social media things. But one that caught our attention recently was talking about drinking at weddings, yes or no's, or all that about it. Do you have anything else to add to that before I make a comment, Drew?
I don't think you should drink at weddings. That's just a thing that I'm saying. I do a lot of weddings, and even more and more so, venues are just banning the DJ from drinking at weddings. Earlier, when I was younger, back in my days when I was the young DJ, I had the wedding was over. Really, it was like probably 30 minutes left, and my assistant had grabbed me a glass of wine, and the coordinator for the venue saw it and was like, "Is that yours?" And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't think it was a big deal. And she's like, "Oh, I was going to put you on the vendor list, but now I'm not." And she kind of threw a giant fit about it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, ever since then, just no drinking, period.
Right.
So
I agree.
that's my take.
I agree, especially like, it might be one thing like for example, like Demand was DJing my wedding and I wanted Kevin, to have a good time. I think that's a one thing, like when it's like a really good friend of yours. But for the most part, like I think there should be zero drinking at the wedding.
You're on the
I
mic.
agree.
You have too much.
Yeah.
You have too much control of what's going on, and
Yeah, you're on the mic. You're on the mic and on the most important day of somebody's life. Like,
yeah, it can go
don't ruin
south
that.
pretty quick. So
Yeah.
no, I'm a firm believer in no drinking those days.
It is crazy to me the amount of comments that we were seeing, like, oh, I have to have this and this, and it's like it's just weird to me when you're working for somebody else that you don't know and you're drinking on the job. That's weird to me.
Now at the club, that's a different story. But even then, I think I need some moderation because they could go south fast.
It happens. It
That
happens.
was too easy.
I I don't really even well, it's out of choice, but you know, having some drinks here and there, I think is okay when you're DJing at the bar or club. But yeah, like you said, even that can get out of control a little bit.
It's after the 5th or 6th shot. Maybe just don't do shots, and then everybody's happy.
Sounds like you're
The
speaking
shot-
from experience.
Either don't do shots,
Oh,
or
definitely.
you either don't do shots or you only do shots. I think that's usually where I find
The
success.
problem with it is the shots is the DJ's high five, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I know you, high five.
Yeah. Plus, I just put this on your tab. Hey.
Yeah. Hey man, you want a shot? Are you putting it on my tab? Because the answer is no. If so, are you buying? Maybe.
We had one last social media hot take. It was from I pinned this from your favorite new thing, Threads. That's your favorite new app, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I need to go on it. I see them pop up every now and then, and I'll look at it. But
I'm
this
not doing
was
it.
this was from Twin Spin. It said DJs, specifically full-time DJs, whether you're a club or mobile DJ, doesn't matter. Do you have an exit strategy out of this industry career, or do you plan on DJ until the coffin is shut on you? I'll tell you right here. I saw Travis Barker when he interview, and he talked about getting tattoos. His reasoning, not main reason, obviously likes his tattoos, but like kind of his fuck you to his dad was, I'm going to get tattoos because this is what I'm doing and there is no turning back. There's no other options. I'm just getting tattoos, and I'm going to have to make being a rock star work. Yeah, I love DJing way too much, and being involved in the industry and doing all the stuff. Every time I hear somebody thinking about quitting or not giving it their all, I always get sad. So I'm definitely a lifer here. And let's just clarify that it will be always something involved in music, right? You might not be like a wedding DJ, but like somehow involved in music and somehow curation and whatnot. So if AI doesn't totally take us out, well, I plan on doing this definitely for a long time.
Simo, how do you feel?
Well, I mean, I used to DJ Wednesday through Saturday for probably 4 or 5 years straight. And
Mhm.
when you're doing that, I think you can't help but treat it as more of a job, especially the weekday gigs. Even if they're busier, it's just most of your life you're awake until 3 in the morning, and it just starts to wear on you after a while. And when I think it was pretty much when COVID hit, and I ended up only going back on Friday and Saturdays. I've been having so much more fun since then because it's always more of a party and less of just not that there's anything wrong with weekday gigs. This is just my personal opinion on it, and it made me love DJing more. So I haven't even thought about stopping at any point. But as far as an out, I do song curations for a lot of bars and restaurants here in Cincinnati and all over the world with Playback Prodigy, which is another company I work for. But again, it's still in the music realm, and I can't see myself leaving that to do something completely different. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like freaking Mick Jagger having heart surgery and then up on stage like 6 weeks later at like 75 years old, probably. But I don't know. I feel like the narrative has changed since we've started a little bit, like where it's like old guys that are older are still out there DJing. And I think there's one thing when you see like a guy who visibly looks and dresses old, but there's older guys that I see that dress hip still and still DJ like great spots and still do a great job. So I think it's it's all about just kind of staying relevant. And I think if you can do it and the gigs are still coming, why not? If you're having fun with it still. But yeah, I'm gonna be like Ric Flair out there wooing, walking around with my Gators and my Rolex, and
I would say the only sticking point is when you get older, and I've definitely noticed this. I'm 37 now. Is when you start finding yourself fighting the new music that's coming out, like the music that all the kids want to hear, and you're like, I used to be that age. I used to want to hear that music, but now it's like, but you kind of have to do it. You just have to find a way to do it so that you don't, because you can't be playing the new stuff and hating doing it either. You have to find a way to enjoy playing the new stuff.
sure.
Because if you're
Right.
doing it and you're up there clearly miserable, they're going to see right through you. You need to find a fun way to do it.
I like DJing still, and I like making people have a good time. With that being said, I would say like of the music I play, probably 20% of it I actually like these days, you know? Um, but I feel like as long as people are happy, I'm happy that they're happy, Um, now it is tough because you do I feel like that resentment does grow for like the music, and like for example like Sexy Red, like I don't like at all. I don't understand it. I don't like any of the country music that's really coming out. It doesn't resonate with me. But those are like two things that are massive right now.
I gave up many moons ago pretending to like anything. I'm going to put on what I want to listen to when I'm done, or a podcast. To
Right.
me, these are just tools. It just gives me 2 minutes of a little break, and it's like a mind break. It's like, oh, let me put this tool on and do the thing. My only complaint with the new music, actually, I have zero complaints with new music. I just wish any of it would stick. Like I love all the new music. I'm like, oh, sweet. Like we download all these new tracks that we're about to talk about. I'd love to be able to play the shit out of them. That's the problem, is when they flop and I'm stuck playing old shit and looking like grandfather time up there. It's when I'm pissed off, right? If the new
Right.
music worked, I'd be way happier, way happier. Because then I'd just be like, oh shit, I've got this constant pool of new shit that I could drop. But none of it
Right.
worked.
I do get worried about that sometimes, being the older, getting on the older end of the DJs, like up there playing Black Eyed Peas, but everybody's going nuts to it. It's like I feel like I look like the old guy playing the old music, but it's like that's what's working most of the time. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how it's getting harder and harder, And young DJs, I think even when you're younger, I think you pay attention less. And so as we get older and more experienced, we're paying attention more and more. So I think that plays into it some as well. When you were just getting started DJing and you were a lot more carefree, just playing whatever because you were just happy to be doing the gig and you didn't know the difference, of what
I,
something looked like.
I try and go watch really bad DJs just so I can get that feeling again of when not knowing. Of being like, wow, did you really just cold drop that in from that? Huh? Maybe I should try that sometime.
And nobody ran up and assaulted you? Wow.
And you're still fist pumping it, pretending that it worked. Dope. Like,
Right.
I am in. Like, let me get poker face that one. Let me snapshot that poker face so I can
Ignorance
practice
is
that one at
bliss.
home.
Dude, speaking of poker face, when did poker face become explicit? Did you know this? I've had this heard this from a few people that they say she says poker face, I fuck her face. That's what they say
Yeah.
she says. And here's the thing.
She said
If
it in
you-
an interview.
She did say it in her interview.
Yeah.
Is that what it actually says?
From what I understand, she said it in an interview. Yeah, and said, "Hey, I don't know how anybody didn't realize that I snuck this in to like pass the FCC."
But that's
Yeah.
a recent thing, right? Because
Yes, it just happened.
Oh,
It was like within
the
the
version
month or
that
two.
played on the radio is the same version, and we all thought she said just poker face multiple times, right?
Well, she like sneaks it in. That's the whole joke behind it. Is she like kind of
Right.
snuck it in?
Is
She get by it.
that's what she says?
So
Hey!
I don't know if I buy it.
fine.
I don't know
It
if I
was
buy
fine,
it.
but now it's a no-no. Now it's a no-no because now we all know that's what she said. So now it's not okay.
Have you
edited
listened?
it.
I don't even know if I've gone back and listened to it again since hearing that. Have you listened to it again and like really listened for it?
Yeah, I feel like if you pay
Can you
attention,
hear
you
it?
can kind of hear it. But somebody just
Really?
needs to make the poker face edit.
Well, yeah.
With the no, it's all only the poker face only.
No,
No fucking.
you need to re-edit it to where it's more dramatic of the fucker
Yeah,
poker
yeah.
face.
We'll just take the Mobamba fuck and put it in there.
It's old.
It'd be pretty hilarious. The Mobamba. Oh fuck, shit, and then it goes into the Lady Gaga.
Oh, it's coming out next week on DMS. Someone's already submitted it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. All right, so now we're gonna get into the part that everybody wants to hear about, and we're gonna talk a little music and all that. We I don't think Drew and I really have any themes. Well, Drew has a EDM theme. I forgot. Drew is doing EDM, so saddle in,
EDM.
saddle up, saddle in, put
It's
on your
taking over.
boots, bust out them cowboy hats. Rodeo Drew is here.
I got my spurs on my boots.
And then Simo is doing indie covers. Am I correct? Or just covers? I
You
guess
are
I should
correct.
say.
Yes.
All right, cool.
It's
And then I
mostly
have
indie,
no
yeah.
no theme. So no theme at all. Simo, do you want to kick us off with your first one?
Sure, why not? So this first one, Fuse, I sent this to you, and you told me that you did not recognize the name of the song.
That is
And to be
true.
honest, when I clicked on it the first time, I didn't either. But it is by the band Here We Go Go, and it is Big Yellow Taxi. Which, if you're not familiar, it's the we
Counting Crows?
paid Paradise to put
Oh.
up a parking lot. So
It's Counting Crows, right?
Counting
Yes.
Crows, but originally it was somebody else, right? Because I
Yes.
thought it was Counting Crows, and it was originally
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell in 1970 something.
Yeah. It's funny, the Big Yellow Taxi. I think I even have edits of that on DMS, but it's like from like 2016 or something. That name of that song doesn't stick out, and
Yeah,
to
it
me,
really doesn't.
so it's funny. But that is a good one. When you sent it to me, I was like, oh, this one's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they bumped up the BPM, and because you would never play. I mean, I don't know. I would never play the original personally, but it bumps it up to I think 112 BPM and gives it a little. It's that indie dance type of
Right.
vibe.
The beauty of it is one of those, what the fuck is this? I know this song and I can't place it. That's what I love about these indie covers is they're so good that it's familiar enough, but it just keeps the vibe. So I love them. And you said that to me too, and I went down the rabbit hole of all of their shit. Like they got some.
Yeah, they have
some
another one that's
bangers.
not even on this list. It's Young Folks. They have another cover
Yep.
of that,
Yeah.
and it's really good.
By the way, I played that last night at my emo night, and I played it real quick, but yeah, so it had a reaction. It was kind of vibing to it. It was interesting. Some of the stuff that hits there is so wild to me, like Flagpole Sitter,
Mm-hmm.
the 90s track. It's one of the biggest sing-alongs. That and the What's Up from Four Non Blondes. Those two just massive sing-alongs.
EDM.
Yeah, I'm going EDM, and this one just dropped. And it's Shaboozy, and the Tipsy or whatever it's. I didn't write the lyrics. The whatever the name is. The Geutta remix. I don't know if he re-recorded this or what, but it doesn't sound warped. It doesn't sound slowed down. It just sounds like it fits, and I think they did a great job if you want to like work it in your sets because it's so slow. I know some people have good luck with it. I have not had good luck with it, so I'm hoping this one is the one that sets it over the top for me.
I personally feel it does sound a little slowed down, but
I
don't hate it.
It's gonna definitely sound slowed down. I don't think it sounds as slowed down as if he didn't get the
stem, the real
redone.
vocal.
Yeah, the real vocal.
Yeah, I like that version. The only really, really good like slowed down vocal that I actually ever really liked on a remix was, and you mentioned this song earlier, was the Magic Rude. The Zed version I thought was pretty good, and that was like a slowed down vocal, like kind of the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
That one always worked for me though.
I still play that.
Or I'll throw another honorable mention for Slow Down Vocal is the Sex on Fire remix.
Oh yeah,
That old house one that was just, man. I actually played that one last night, and it doesn't. I forgot what the original sounds like. It just sounds like the original.
will you Dropbox that to me because I can't
Yeah,
find it. I know I had it at one point, but
I
Sex is on Fire. God,
killed last night. Killed last night. It was big.
Simo, do you play that still?
It's one of those that, when Drew just mentioned it, I used to, but I haven't played it in a while now.
You're right, right. I haven't played it in a while. I think I tried recently and it flopped. Or what was there another Use Somebody, I think is the one I
Use
played. 'Cause we
Somebody
had
was like,
we
yeah.
talked about it. Yeah. I think it could work. And I just saw on social media DJ Too Hot in Austria, Mario, he posted a video of him playing the Gautier song and the crowd was like cracking to it. I thought that was pretty cool. He
I
was
play it
doing a
every
pretty cool
night.
remix.
I
Yeah,
play it
yeah.
every night. I play the levels one, or I'm playing just like, it's not an original, but it is reflex. It's like a reflex.
I just put up
remix.
the side piece remix on DMS,
Yeah,
and it is fire.
yeah, that one's good. I saw
If
that
you
one
have
go up.
if you have a really high energy crowd, I can't imagine that remix not smashing.
Okay, well, there it is. I'm gonna grab
Yeah.
that.
My first pick is Samuel Jack, Feels Like Summer, which is an older song, but it's big on social media again right now because it's summertime. And I don't know how you say this name, but it's Lhotse remix, maybe Lhotse. I don't know. I'm probably butchering it, but it's at 110 BPM, and I'm always looking for stuff in that range to kind of fill that void from getting like 100 to the 120s. That would be like an early night song for me, but I really like that version. And I think it's fun. And I always feel like when I kind of start DJing, I always start, and maybe it's probably just a me thing. And most times I would say, the bar is kind of like slowly getting busy when you start. So I always start around like 100 BPM and work my way up and then kind of drop down again. So I always like getting stuff in that 110. So I like that one.
I like it. Simon.
Simon, I think we're back to you.
All right. My next one is a cover of the Cranberries' Linger by Lake Street Dive. I think I heard that one originally on a plane. I think I was on a Delta flight, like sitting down in my seat, and I was like, what in the world? That was the first time I heard Lake Street Dive, and they have a lot of covers that this one I think is 88 BPM. It'd be tough to play in a DJ set, to be honest, but for like cocktail hour or, kicking off the night, or maybe even the last song of the night, something like that. It's really smooth and kind of, down tempo indie dance type of vibes on that one.
I gotta admit something. I used to be such an asshole, and as kind of a troll, I would buy people the Cranberries' Greatest Hits album just because I hated the song "Zombie" so much. Uh, and then I went to Ireland and I saw this cover band, and it all made sense. It was like the first time you took acid or mushrooms, and you were like, why did I not do this? How come no one clued me into how dope this was? And then now I love that song. Now I love all the Cranberries from then. But back when I was in high school, I just hated that shit.
Fuse, don't you have a similar story with the Cranberries? And
Oh yes,
didn't you say there was a
told
DJ
it.
that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
have you told it on the?
I think I've told it on here, but I can tell it again real quick. We were in Ireland and we were at Copperhead Jack's. This the drinking age there is 18, so it was Hunter and I, and Hunter's one of the younger guys, and he wanted to stay out, and so they have pubs there that usually close midnight at 1, and then the late night is like the next place you would have to go, which is typically more clubby. And we were in there, and the DJ literally before was playing Beyonce Crazy in Love, and he hard dropped Cranberries Zombies out of Crazy in Love, and like the place went quiet, and it was just like that do do do, and I was like, what the fuck, like this guy. And then next thing you know, like the chorus kicked in and everybody's like, zombie, like, and I'm like, whoa.
So good.
I'll never forget that. It was insane. Girls' hair, it's just like everywhere.
I see it. Ireland, I'm telling you, there's another level over there. I can see it definitely just destroying.
Right.
I was in Dublin for St. Patrick's Day a few years back. It's crazy.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
should be mentioned that the Cranberries are Irish, so that
Yes.
does have something to do with it. But
yeah,
True.
My next one, we've mentioned this before, but it's if I'm playing EDM, this is my top pick right here. It's the Morgan Wallen versus Avicii last night versus the Knights. Even Steve bootleg. I'm pretty sure Phrase did one too, but I happen to have Even Steve's in my library first. So yeah, there it is. Love it. It just destroys, kills every night. Doesn't matter the crowd, kills.
I play that one all the time.
Same. I think I played the Even Steve one just because it was structured a little different, and I thought the structure was better than the one Phrase did. Phrase is great. I just prefer that one too. My next pick is Benson Boone, Beautiful Things. And this song's kind of like a flop, honestly. Like every time I play it, it's like it was big on TikTok. But I just really like this version, and it's a Joe Maz edit. And it starts at 130 and it goes down to 73. Which it's like the Chainsmokers remix is at that one. And it's really just sometimes I just think it's cool to play stuff when it's actually sounds cool, and that's one that just sounds cool, and it kind of breaks up the if you're up tempo.
It goes from the Wesh remix into the Chainsmokers, then back to the Wesh remix, I think is what it does. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just cool. And I think the Benson Boone song's kind of like a flop, but if you're playing to like a busy room and it's like loungy and you're playing some like want to play something current, I think it's cool. All right, Simo, it's back to you.
See, my next one is a cover of Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married by Pretty Sister. That one is 110 BPM, very like a snap, like really dancey vibes on the indie dance, and super funky as well. All of Pretty Sister's stuff is great. He has a cover of a Christina Aguilera song, Come On Over, that almost made my list, but that's a good way to play that song. And I don't think it's one that I have any other versions of other than the one that the original that everybody plays.
Love it.
Sweet. I'll have to check that one out because I'm not familiar.
I grabbed it. Yeah, I'll throw it on my list for sure. My next one is the DAFS bootleg of Florida Georgia Line versus Nick Stone Cruise. It kills always. So there you go.
Yeah, I made two different versions when we put that one out. I made that version, and I made a version with Q's remix of Purple Rain, which is like a French house kind of sound. Both of those are pretty cool. I played both. I typically play the Purple Rain one because I really like Purple Rain, and I play it at like places where I'm just playing like background music. I think it kind of fits that vibe a little better. But if I'm playing more of a party place and I want to sneak some of that EDM in there, I play the other one that Drew just mentioned. Back to me. Simo just posted this edit of Katy Perry Roar, the Gin and Sonic remix, the hooks and drops only. I really like that version. I think it breathes some freshness into kind of a like an okay track to where it's like, oh, you can play this again now. I really like that version. I thought they did a good job with it.
She has a new album coming out, Katy Perry, and she was talking with Zane Lowe on Apple Music. She hasn't released the whole thing. The one single, but then he played another one where he was like, "Oh, I think this is the one," and that was the same one. I was like, "Now this is a banger." That first single was like, "This is kind of whatever," but that second single that Zane dropped, she was like, "Can we even play this?" So it hasn't come out yet, but just the preview, I was like, "This sounds like it's going to be huge." So maybe Katie's back.
The single's Woman's World, right? The one
that's not the one
BMS?
I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
right.
one.
So you're talking about a different one. Okay, got you.
So I listened to a lot of books this year. That's like one of my goals. I don't read, but I listen to podcasts and stuff. And one of the books I'm almost finished with it is the 50 Cent book. And something that he talks on, which I thought was really interesting because I've always thought this, and it's something that I always thought Eminem did the opposite of, But he was saying a reason a lot of times if the album is like, I don't know, they just feel some kind of way, they release a single that they think is just kind of okay first, because usually the core audience engages and it gets some buzz going about it. But then they release the bigger single as the second single to really like hit you with, it's like a jab and a punch, that's
Interesting.
the strategy. But I always thought Eminem did the opposite. I always thought he always released something to like get you to be like, what the hell? And then like you just instantly went out and grabbed the album.
Yeah,
I feel
he
like that
always did
makes
the
perfect
same.
sense for like the bigger the artist, the more, somebody's going to listen to your single anyway. If you're Katy Perry, you're going to get the listens no matter what the single is. So to get more longevity out of the album, it makes sense to push your best single down as far as you can, really.
Right.
Well,
Sometimes I
Woman's
just
World,
wonder.
just the title alone is gonna kill, right? That's like the girls
Mhm.
are all, that's like I think last week we were talking about just make a birthday song.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
people,
Yeah.
the Women's World is just gonna hit just because of that.
Play it right into Rihanna, of course. But
So let's see. How did we get on that topic?
did we get to, is it my
Well,
turn again? I think, because you did Roar.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn again.
This is a cover of Sade, Smooth Operator by Jorden Ducks, Mecdoux, and Chill Covers. Right around 120, more housey than indie, but I've been starting a lot of my DJ sets with this one just because I think it's one of those, cool songs as far
it's fucking
as,
Sade. What do you mean? Of
yeah,
course, it's
exactly.
amazing.
So it's a great way to start your set, I think. And it works in the first hour. Like, if you're in a place where you can play some smart music, I think it works really well. At Igby's, where I play in Cincinnati, I always play it between 10 and 11 for sure.
And where's Mecdoux from?
I have
Because
absolutely no idea.
if he's from the US, then can he figure out a harder name to spell?
I copied and pasted it.
So my turn next. This is a Fusamania bootleg. It's not like up there in the 120s, but it's still EDM, if you will. It's Dan and Shay featuring Justin Bieber. So it's or versus Justin Bieber. Sorry, it's 10,000 hours versus Sorry, and this always does great for me. Dan and Shay is just that wedding. They work at every wedding, and this is a good way to make it doable. So yep, banger.
Sweet. Next is I have Rihanna, David Guetta, Where Have You Been? It's always been a good one for me. Zillionaire just posted a remix on DMS. It's like the piano house, just like a good vibes. I really like that one. Again, for more earlier nights. Keeping things fresh in the like early part of the set, I think, is really important. Especially where I play when I'm at the same venue, like every Friday or Saturday, keeping things sounding a little new, even though they probably think I play the same shit every fucking week, which is true probably to some degree, but whatever. Bartenders, am I right?
I thought we already did the rants.
Wait, I thought
Yeah.
bartenders make the same drink every night. So how do they have the same to say?
Yeah. Let me get a Tito's and soda. You got that last night. Get something different.
Change it up. Change it up.
Yeah.
I owe Zillionaire a decent percentage of my paychecks recently. He's been smashing it.
He kills it.
He has been. But yeah, he's released another one, was the Walking on a Dream one that he recently posted with this. That was good too. So just a good fun sound. Doesn't like kill the integrity of the song. So that's my pick.
One. I want to say he did this too. Let me see. I might have got this off at Patreon, but it's Walking on a Dream. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is Zillionaire. Walking on a Dream versus it's like a remix of David Bowie's Let's Dance.
Ooh.
It's so tight.
Yeah.
And
drop me that one. I don't think I have it.
It's so tight. I think I got it off his Patreon, but yeah, it's a banger, dude, for sure. That I play that almost every night, and every time when the David Bowie part comes on, everybody's like, "Oh shit!" Kills.
Simo, back to you.
Oh, let's see. My next one is a Dancing in the Moonlight cover by Bratton, Braten. That one again is in a similar vein as the Smooth Operator cover, around 120-ish BPM, but nice little refresh of that one.
All
Yeah, I
right,
have
all right.
a.
Dancing in
There's
the
that.
Moonlight. It's a good one.
There's that other version of that, and that one, that's the one I play. Or I mean, this one I heard, and I was like, this was dope.
Yeah, I just put that one out on DMS a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I grabbed it. It was my turn here. Let's see. Let's get back to that form.
Mhm.
So this one just dropped on DMS. It is Post Malone featuring Blake Shelton, Pour You a Drink, the Nova Kai remix. And Posty's
yeah.
about to drop this country album, and it's getting a ton of plays. So that's a good one.
What was that? Pour Me a Drink. Oh yeah, I've been playing that. I hate myself when I play it. I like Post Malone, but I just really hate country, and it makes me hate myself. But it's like what we talked about earlier, like sometimes you just got to play the current stuff. I've been playing some backgroundy gigs, and I've been playing it because I feel like it's just a good song for those kind of situations. So, but man, I just don't like the country.
It's Posty though. I still like it. I'm in.
Yeah, and I'm here for him being a country singer and doing his thing. I think it's cool. His like his what do you call it? Like his career change and how it's shifted from like White Iverson to Pour Me a Drink. It's pretty crazy. My next pick is Bag Raiders Shooting Star. It's an all-time classic song. On DMS right now, there is the Sticky remix, and it's just a little more beefed up. So if you wanted to play it in the middle of a set, you could you could grab that version. I would re-edit it a little bit. I love that track, and I think they did a good job of remixing it and not ruining it.
Nice. I don't think I've heard that one yet.
Also, Joe Maz has a great one with, is it Sweet Nothing over top of it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, so good. I play that one a ton. But I love Shooting Star by Bag Raiders. Great song.
This one is a Fleetwood Mac cover of Little Lies by Goldfish. I'm assuming it's the same Goldfish that had that song back in the day. I can't think of what it is. That Hold On for the Moment. It had the part where it goes like, doo-doo-doo. You'd know it if you heard it. I can't. Oh, I should have looked that up before this. But anyway, it's 123 BPM, kind of a little more energy than the last two. But it's a good one. I like it because it has the they keep the lyrics pretty true to the original, so people can sing along to it really well, and it just has a lot more energy.
I love that Little Lies, the Goldfish. It's so good. I play it all the time. It's a great version.
Let's see here. I'm going to do this Kane Brown, I Can Feel It, with the VAVO remix. And Kane Brown's just huge right now. I mean, a lot of his stuff crosses over anyways, but gets a ton of plays. And there you go. Ton of requests.
I don't have that one. I think I'll have to grab that one from you as well.
I've been dropping a bunch of these.
It's that, the country stuff I tend to look over a little bit. Oops.
All right.
Is it me again? Oh, shit. My only honorable mention, and I think it's interesting, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it, like the West Coast hip hop being back, and the 310 Baby just released that song Pink Whitney, and it's got some energy behind it. Do we think that'll be big? I think it's going to be a big song. I think it could be a big song.
310 Baby is big.
Yeah. What do you think, Simo? Is that your shit?
I just listened to it today. I don't know. It's nice that it's 102, I guess, but I don't know.
Say you hate it without saying you hate it.
I don't hate it. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't even have an opinion about any of this stuff because, like, my subjective opinion about what's going to make it means nothing half the time anymore.
So what we were just saying is like, oh, this is dope, but then it doesn't hit, right? It's all of a sudden,
exactly.
like,
There's so many songs that I've.
He's only 18 years old.
Oh wow! I didn't. He's had songs out for a little while now, right? He's not like
18.
new. I mean, like,
Yeah, not crazy.
Um,
I don't know. I just kind of I'm here for anything that
we need to do hip hop.
the
And
beat's
bring it
fun.
up.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's
for
going to be
sure.
a great blend.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Simo, any more honorable mentions?
I'll just throw two quick ones in here if you don't mind. These are throwbacks. These all the ones I mentioned before have come out in the last year or two. These two are ones that I've been playing forever. I consider these two like maybe my top two all-time indie covers. The first one is the cover of Lionel Richie "All Night Long" by Penguin Prison. That one is a freaking classic.
Very good.
I have an edit that cuts it down a lot, and I think you have an edit that cuts it down even further, Fuse.
Yeah.
But that one always goes over really well because I always want to play the original one, but then I cue it up and I'm like, there's not enough going on in this one to carry it and for a lot of the types of sets that I'm trying to play. And then the other one is a cover of the old Phil Collins "Easy Lover," and it's by Phil Collins and Philip Bailey. And then the cover is by Great Good Fine Okay and Panama Wedding. And my favorite thing about that cover is that in the back half of the song, they actually have I think it's a keytar solo at some point. And I usually edit so many solos out of songs, but I'm like, this one is too freaking cool. And it's just like, as much as I love the original "Easy Lover," like it's one of my all-time favorite songs, but that cover, they smashed that one. So those are my two honorable mentions.
Love it. I got an honorable mention is it's Lil Nas X versus Timber. It's the Old Town Road Timber blend. I'm pretty sure Scooter did that. So there you go.
Old Town Road, Timber. All right.
I mean, if you're EDMing, Old Town Road was pretty
Yeah.
much the one that started the crossovers. It's pretty
For
much
sure.
like the very beginning of crossover country.
If it's not the Mason Ramsey remix of Old Town Road, I'm not playing it. Pop out on my razor, got 1,000
Oh my God.
acres.
Oh,
man.
That's your next TikTok blend. There you go. Get that up there.
Oh boy.
yeah, just remake it, but with that acapella. There you go.
Perfect. I'll do it myself. Don't tell me I can't. No, I think that's going to be it for today. Was there anything else you guys wanted to mention before we sign off here?
No, man. It was
I
a
don't
fun
think so.
episode. We really appreciate Simo coming on here. We get a
Yeah, of course.
ton of requests for these cover songs. Everyone loves them. So if you guys aren't familiar with Simo, I know we're doing this a little late in the episode, but you need to go on DMS, and he basically has edits for 8 billion songs. So all the old stuff, all the indie stuff, all the cover stuff. He's like, you can get multiple versions of every song. So he kills it on the edits. So if you're not on DMS, use that promo code and go find Simo's shit up on there.
I also have all of the covers, the indie covers, on one of our playlists. Indie covers. I make sure to put those every time I make one into that playlist. So if you want to see all of the indie covers that that anyone's put on DMS, just go to that playlist on our page, and they're all there.
Sweet.
Playlist for people that are going to get confused and to text us what that is if you're a member of DMS, there are playlists pre-made, so you can go on there, and there's one that's Simo's indie covers, and that's the one you're going to click on. So just to clarify that, so we don't get blown up for where it's
I just
at.
figured everybody knows,
They're going to ask us anyways, but that's where it's at.
Yeah, thank you for being on. Until next time, chat with you guys later.
Peace.